As you walk with us to the part of life, you will never have to walk alone. Come on!
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a rising sun.
Look for the rising sun.
And the sweet silver songs of the sky.
Put God in front, we'll walk behind.
Walk on through the wind. Walk on through the rain.
Door to door and hand in
Though
hand.
your dreams be tossed and blown, walk on, walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone.
So put your hands up high and let's reach for the sky for the rising sun. Come walk with us. We'll walk with you. And you'll never walk alone. Never walk alone. Never walk alone. Never walk alone. You'll never walk alone with the UNC.
We stand united in the belief that if you empower community, the community empowers the country.
We are the party that gave every child a secondary school education since 2001.
By building more schools in 11 years than others did in 40. We believe that no child,
Rich or poor, should be left behind.
which is why we give every Form 1 student a laptop to expand their minds and their dreams.
We are the party that put police cars back on the streets.
And gave the police a $1,000 bonus because we believe that we should support the persons who are protecting you.
We are the party that reduced the murder rate to its lowest in 14 years. We expanded GATE, stopped the property tax, and increased maternity leave.
We are the party that invested in you and your community by investing in schools, community centers, lighted parks, 24-hour health centers, and the most extensive road repair program in decades.
We believe that education is always a solution and that no one should have to pick between sending their child to school or buying food.
We are the party that works for you. We are the first responders in every situation, working to deliver a better standard of living for you and your family.
And most importantly, we have confidence in you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a campaign, it's a movement based on building communities and strengthening families.
Come out and join us, and together we will get the nation working and moving again. Our children will once again have access to GATE and technology.
We will improve healthcare.
By cutting the time it takes to see a doctor in an emergency, we will establish a senior citizen unit in every major hospital and staff the hospital with the doctors and nurses you need to create a first-class healthcare system. We will focus on creating high-paying jobs, fixing our laws to remove red tape, and ensuring that you and your family are safer. We will reduce corporate taxes to jumpstart the economy, create a special investment zone along the East-West corridor, and work with entrepreneurs to build a digital economy. This is an investment in your community to move the nation forward and get TNT working again.
Whether you are from 4th Street in Barataria to Railway Road in Dow Village, from Green Street in Tunapuna to Clark Road in DB, from La Hoqueta to Moruga, from Mayaro to Scarborough, we are one people with the same dreams of a better tomorrow. And when we stand together, we win together. We are UNC and proud.
I must say a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one. A pleasant good afternoon. A pleasant good afternoon. As we stand here at this moment to talk about anti-crime and what can be done, there was killings within the constituency. This is something that is not paining just one, but paining all. We stand and we sit in a community center where just a few months ago, I would have had to lay my wife and my brother-in-law to rest by violence. So at this time, I would like to introduce the dynamic, the powerful, the visionary, the lady that has compassion, a lady that understands what it means to be in pain, what it means to suffer, what it means to hurt, what it means to acknowledge that we are in this together. Our political leader and the leader of the opposition and the next Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the only Prime Minister that understood the people, that gave to the people of Mova hope in sad times, in desperate times, in no times, and in all the time. All the time. So we welcome to the podium our beloved leader, Mrs. Camilla Pesad Bisessa, to the podium of Morvant-Laventille. Please stand, and we could do better than that.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Let's give it up to Alderman Kareem Beard, please. A son of your soil and one of our greatest UNC aldermen ever. Give him a round of applause. Let me thank you for your very kind welcome. Let me acknowledge our senators who are here. Senator Jillian John, I believe, is here. Can we acknowledge her, please? I am just coming from the Parliament, so you will not see any other MP here tonight because they are still in the Parliament. I left the Parliament about 12 minutes ago to join you for these talks here tonight. So any other councillors here, I welcome them. We have some officers of the TTPS. Can we thank them for being here tonight? Community activists, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good day to all of you. And I thank you for the welcome you've given me here in this part of TNT. One of my officers in the car driving at me, they said their ears are popping. I said, why? That only happens sometimes when you're on an airplane and you're high up in the air. She said, well, we're high up in the hills. Ears are popping tonight. I say again, I'm very, very honored to join with you for this, which is our 5th installment of our opposition on the National Anti-Crime Consultations. You may remember we began in January 2024, this year, in a committed effort to get feedback from citizens on the unprecedented crime and violence wave that is sweeping across our land. You see, I have always said, in all my years in politics, and they have been many, and I don't intend to retire anytime soon, with the help of the Lord, with the help of the Lord and the strength of the Lord, I don't intend to retire. I saw some MP begging for people to join him in retirement, like he wants company in retirement. I have no intention. I keep the strength and the grace of God with me every day. Thank you so much. So I've always lived all these years in my service to my country and to the people of our country. I've always said we must listen first and then lead. We must listen first and then lead. Listen, we have one mouth, you know. We have two. So we must listen. Many times we don't listen. We are tone deaf. And that is one of the reasons I'm here. We are here. We want to listen. Because we have always been a voice for the voiceless. We have been the people's voice in what my ultimate guide remains. We first listened to people, where was it? In Chaguanas, I think. We listened in San Grande. We heard the voices of the people of San Fernando and St. Joseph. And we value every single contribution that people have made to us and pointing out solutions and recommendations for us. So the UNC is leading the charge to make the playgrounds safe for children. The UNC is leading this charge to make public spaces safe for citizens. All this is about is for all citizens, to make our society a safer one for every single person. That is a charge that we are leading, that we can feel safe in our homes again. That when we send our children to school, they must be safe in those schools. Look at where we've come. The crime rate now is the worst it has ever been in decades and decades upon decades. The worst ever. That no one is safe anywhere in any part of TNT, not in a single place. So when they want to tell me about hotspots, yes, there are hotspots and there are hotter spots. But all of our land is now a hotspot. Trinidad and Tobago. You agree with me? Yes. Nowhere are you safe. Nowhere. And the TTPS is doing the best they can in all the circumstances. Let's give it up to all the good men and women in our police service. And I didn't come here to complain too much because I came here to listen. So I'll just speak for a few more minutes and then we'll hand over the mics to you. But before I came here, we are sitting in the parliament and I got a piece of news. And that news doesn't give me any assurance that within the next year things will get any better with the crime in Trinidad. You know what that news was? The government has now extended the contract of the present Commissioner of Police. Now, I have no pain or no trouble with that Commissioner of Police. In fact, we voted for her when the matter came to Parliament last time. We voted, said, give her a chance, or we've given her a chance. But with a heavy heart, I report this tonight. We have to give the police their due. And we pray to God that Erla will be able to lead them in this year. But I tell you, my heart is very heavy in hearing this. So, as I say, as a responsible party, we are preparing for government. We are doing what is necessary. So, with that said, we welcome you to our 5th UNC Crime Talks. Are you happy that we can talk together? You may ask me why I chose up here. And Kevin, who works in my office, Kevin is walking about somewhere. He's a member of staff, that big guy down there. Kevin works in my office. Kevin is from the Morvant area, am I correct? Yes, he's welcome, son of the soil of Morvant. Welcome him home. He works in the office of the leader of the opposition and is a very strong fighter for us with the work that he does in the parliament for us. So thank you, Kevin. So why did we come here? And then Kevin tells me very clearly, he said, Madam, there's not one area known as Morvant and one thing known as Morvant-Laventille. So we had put Anti-crime talks, Morvant-Laventille. He said, boss, it's two separate places. Is he correct? Yes. So welcome people from Morvant and welcome people from Laventille. 2 months ago, I read a story in the newspapers. And that story convinced me that these talks needed to be held here for people of Morvant and people of Laventille. And I must admit that the headlines highlight truly terrifying reality of how we live here in Morvant, in Laventille, when it comes to murders. What also convinced me to come here for these anti-crime talks, it was not only about the headlines of the despair and the hope and the slaughter, but there's also headlines dealing with peace and hope. In a Newsday article on March 13, 2024, the headline was Morvant-Laventille students say no to crime. I read one of the most inspiring stories I have ever read in several years. It states, Morvant-Laventille Secondary School was buzzing with excitement as students eagerly awaited the start of its Stop the Violence Run Walk on March 12th. Acting Principal Carlon Telesford said, and I quote, "The reality is that our students have not gone untouched by crime. In the killing that occurred at Courts in December, one of the victims was a student's parent. Crime is all around us. Crime is all around us." Form 4 student Brianna Pompey, she said, and I quote her, "Crime is overbearing. Youths and young children are dying. Why are we killing each other for what? I just want the public to know Morvant-Laventille is not a bad school. There are talented students here." Jalen Ewan, another Form 4 student, wants the country to know the community of Morvant-Laventille has good people. He said, "Despite what you may hear or read, there are people trying here, and yes, there is gun violence, but that's not everybody. There are those trying to uplift the community." He said he loves being a pupil at the school because there are a lot of caring teachers, and he hopes to pursue a career in basketball. What a beautiful story of the true promise of this era coming from the students. Let's give them a round of applause, please. All my political life, I have worked for children, for the betterment of children. And Twiggy is here tonight. Let's give her a round of applause. And when I saw Twiggy here tonight, you know what I said? God is great. I said we're going to win this election. Because when I came here the last time, Twiggy was there, yes, Twiggy, with her big mug, very happy. But when we won in 2010, when I came back to open the Rose Hill School, Twiggy was present here as well. So I will not forget you. We do not forget. Piccadilly School. We'll talk. Miss Twiggy, you'll get the mic just now, and you'll tell us all these things that you have inside of you. But thank you. So very beautiful stories of hope and promise. And I say we always work for the betterment of children. So when I read that story about the children and the desire to live in a crime-free area, to grow and contribute to our development, I said to myself, this is my people talking. And as a leader, I am compelled to listen to them. So we chose this Morvant-Laventille area to communicate with people here for the 5th anti-crime talks. Because if you, so wrongly neglected, negatively stereotyped, forced to live in silence because some refuse to see your worth, if your children can express hope, then I will be the leader who will come here and listen and take your advice and lead in the name of our children. So here we are, listen to you, talk about the policies and programs as we go forward. But before I go, I found some very interesting facts about your community. So give me a few more minutes to share them with you. I told Kevin is one of my staff, and he told me Morvant is in fact a huge district made up of several sub-districts: Coconut Drive, Chinnapool, Red Hill, Monrepo, Angelina Terrace, Never Dirty, Valley Road, yes, I'm getting there, Marie Road, Almond Drive, Almond Court, Pelican Extension, Chrysler Hill, Caledonia, Las Alturas, and Paradise Heights, and many other areas, yes? 7th Avenue. Thank you, Misir, thank you. These sub-districts are not just streets, they're self-contained communities. So up to today, I'm told that most of the residents are still middle class or blue collar or service workers with a mix of teachers, nurses, doctors, university students, shop workers, restaurant workers, bankers, accountants, engineers, plumbers, electricians, computer technicians, construction workers, mechanics, and everybody, yes, it's everybody, in every field. And why do I want to say this to you? Because you will know where you are, where you've come from. But what you know is that your great-grandparents of the hill have given to our nation and our world. Do you know what they've given us? I'll tell you in a few minutes, reminding you of the truly great legacy. Because I say if we do not know where we have come from, we will never know where we are going. If we do not know where we come from, we will never know where we are going. Laventille's name comes from the French word window. Did you know that? Laventille means window, French word. Because you know why? The northeast trade winds blow through here before they reach Port of Spain. So this was a window with the northeast winds blowing through Laventille down into Port of Spain. I wonder if any of you here know that in the 1800s, Laventille held the most important quarry in our country. Did you all know that? Well, many people don't know that. So I'm glad you know your own history. Laventille's famous blue limestone was used to erect, give yourselves a round of applause. Your blue limestone was there to erect many prominent buildings in the city of Port of Spain. That limestone was used in the major engineering project of the reclamation of the Port of Spain harbor. Did you know that? Well, take our next round of applause, take a bow. All came from Laventille. Up to 1942, Laventille limestone was used to construct, you know what? The famous Churchill-Roosevelt Highway, right from you here. The earth in Laventille, literally, I will say, has built our nation's capital and a major link road from north to south. Laventille used to be known as a free town. Did you know that? You know why? In the 1840s, after emancipation, many of the freed men and women who left the plantations, they found refuge here on the hillsides, and they were determined to chart a life of their own, which reflected their traditions and talents. And did you know, and I'm sure this one you know, because I can remember this, in the 1970s, the revolutionary Black Power movement was born out of these hills under the leadership of the late iconic McCandle Douglas. Give him, Derry Liberty McCandle. Give him a round of applause, please. Thanks to that movement, TNT became a more equal place for all citizens. So Laventille, you have one of the proudest, greatest legacies of patriotism and achievement to boast of. Your foreparents were pioneers. Our nation owes this great community a debt of gratitude, and you must always remember that. You are equal citizens under the law. Citizens who work hard, raise families, and pay their taxes to help ensure our nation's progress. And therefore, you are constitutionally entitled to an equal share of all our national resources. And the time has come, once and for all, for the government you have voted into office to serve you, the people of the Hill. As I close this segment, I want to just say to you, I ask you, having told you about those children who marched for peace 2 months ago, they filled me with hope and inspiration. I want to urge all of you here today to never let anyone destroy your sense of worth and dignity. To the young children in that peace walk in March, I urge you, please continue being beautiful. God sent beacons of hope, peace, justice, and progress to our communities and yours. Never let the violence and neglect around you make you turn to a life of crime and of hate. The future belongs to you, and you have the responsibility to seek to make your country a better nation in which we all can live. And now I open the floor to you. I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. And we have note takers, and we'll have the video footage. So we look forward for your suggestions, your thoughts, and your ideas.
Ms. Prasad, Mr. Sir, we are happy to have you here. I am was the president here for 10 years. Now a younger person is the president and I'm still the vice president here. Yes, right?
President of this committee center, how long?
I was the president for 10 years.
Yes.
And last week we had election and we have a younger person who's the president and I'm now the vice president.
Well, congratulations, please. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Right. And we welcome you here. It is a big deal to me that you're here. All right. It's a big deal that you're here because I wanted you to know that this community center, when I was with NITCO, when I came back from the United States, was completed under Carson Charles as the president of NITCO, and is under your tuition. Right? So we are happy that you're here, and we think that you can assist us in further developing the country, further develop our area. Kareem, who is sitting there with you, you do a lot of work with me. In fact, he called me Uncle Khaled. All right, so we are close, and you're welcome here anytime. Thank you.
Pleasant good night, Honorable Leader of the Opposition, Lennox Smith, of course, community and social activist, long-standing, apart from other accolades, I would say, whether it be in the area of education and or political activism, as well as, of course, one that is concerned about our young people, crime and criminality. I myself, of course, being a criminologist in my own right and academic. But I want to preface what I have to say tonight by firstly indicating a particular philosophy and idea, concept, if you want to call it that, and it has always resonated with me throughout my academic and other areas of activities, particularly in the Laventille area, MOVA, etc., notwithstanding. In fact, I would prefer to say that welcome to this part of the East-West corridor. But there is a concept that says and speaks to what is called social and psychological capital. And that simply means the price that a society or the investment a society must make in order to keep the peace. Let me repeat. Psychological and social capital refers to a concept that speaks to the price a society must pay or invest in order to keep the peace. And I think it is very appropriate at this time for this kind of concept to firstly be not just projected, but also to be assimilated in such a way so that we could understand where we are, having regard, of course, to my own experiences. All of my adult life I've been, of course, engaged in issues and policies, programs, initiatives associated with Laventille, etc. I don't know how much time I have because I could talk here until the morning. So you have to tell me exactly.
Lennox,
yes.
I could stay till next week and listen to you for the week, but we have other persons.
That is why I want to find out.
So thank you for being kind enough that others will have an opportunity.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Lennox.
Good. So I want to, before I make my departure, as compendious as my presentation would have to be, this is a document that was presented a long time ago, but created by the number of institutions. We have what is called the Ad Hoc Committee for the Eradication of Crime in Laventille. We have, of course, the Morvant-Laventille Improvement Organization. We have the Laventille for Laventillians, and of course, quite a number of other entities that are associated with and concerned with the prophylactic approach to preventing our young people from engaging in crime and criminality. It's the first time and I want to say this just before I make my departure, that it's the first time I see a man, and as a prime minister, who has a golf tournament ostensibly for charity, and then that charity or the resources that come from it is dedicated to, as normal, on the surface of it, one would say, to organization that is doing social work, etc. In other words, some kind of NGO, etc. But in this case, the Prime Minister, the proceeds of that exercise goes to vision and a mission. I have no problem with vision and a mission. My problem is that if you are Prime Minister, then I would have expected the prophylactic approach as opposed to the area where you have to go into prison before you can be rehabilitated. In other words, it's a principal position. I'm simply saying and I'm sure that he would be listening, I would prefer to see that at least that resource is split. Do it, give it to an organization that prevents people from going into prison, and at the same time, you can then put the next part of it to, of course, vision and mission, except they're doing wonderful work. I'm not criticizing them. I'm simply saying, as Prime Minister, and given the fact that we have this problem of crime and criminality and our young people gravitating there too, we must understand that the Prime Minister must be the symbol and the exemplar, and by his conduct and actions, especially in this particular instance, as I referred, I thought I should mention that. I'm not going to read it because I realize I have limited time. So this is a document from the American University in Washington, where, of course, they wrote to the then Prime Minister, commending, of course, some of the programs that we are doing here. And then, of course, we have another letter from the Prime Minister then, Manning, where I presented a 1,000-page document on Laventille, surveys, developments, projections, etc. And as a consequence of that, a number of things has emerged. What I want to do, the leader of the opposition and the leader of the UNC, I'll give you the flash drive with all of the information, over 1,000 pages, so it was impossible for me to put it here, to print it, right? So thank you very much once again. We welcome you here. We expect that you're going to be in other parts of the corridor, including the Laventille that you referred to, and certainly East Port of Spain, etc. If there are opportunities to speak again, certainly I will welcome that.
Thank you so much. And I have known you for many years, and you have always been a community activist and hard worker. So let's give a round again to him. And I thank you for the flash drive. We will certainly take it into account and reach back to you if we need any further documentation. So can we ask next person, please?
I want to say pleasant good night to each and everyone. My name is Joy Wynn. I am so sad. I'm so sad, and I want to say thanks for Tanti Kamala for calling me out here, because well, what I want to tell you all, well, it reached on my doorstep. I have 5 boys, I have 3 girls, and it reached on my doorstep the 2nd of last month. My son was gunned down on Charlotte Street. It was so sad when a neighbor, she bring the phone and tell me take a call. And my other son telling me, Mommy, you know, well, the nickname is called him Boss Up. I say, Mommy, you know Boss Up dead? I say, oh. He say, he get killed, you know. He get gone down. I say, where is he in town? So I had a friend, a neighbor, so I tell him, well, come and carry me down, and I went down, and it wasn't too nice with the officers when I reached, because I went to tell them, well, I came to identify him, but they say, one of my grandson came and identified him, which is a young boy, always my grandson. He was underage to really identify my son, and the police really moved with him in a way that it wasn't too nice for me. But what I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago and the youths, you see, the government right now, I would say plain, them ain't moving nice with the youths, because some of them, they ain't getting no work. They're begging me like if I stand the camera, help me now, talk to Tanti Camilla. Duncan Street boys, they're begging, talk. They want something, they want work. They're telling them, the government telling them they ain't giving them no work, because if they get work, they will take the money and buy guns. And they ain't working, and they getting guns. Who ain't even have a job, can't even spell gun, have a gun. So they don't have to get no work to get no gun. Right? They have plenty of them. And next thing, some of them, they have little case for the first time. And the first time, they're denying them about from work. Well, don't talk, well, if they know like me, I have a face so only a mother could love, and you know my mother dead. So when they see me, that is camera. 1 minute I pandy. Now I stand the camera. Don't she know what? She's on, like she's trying, you know. So my whole family has been victimized through this government and my children, right? I have a son come out of school, he's very bright. All my sons bright. All of them bright. Right? All of them. I had a son, he went to the police at time, and he tell the police, I could do computer, you know. The police say, you could do computer? He say, yes, I could. Police take him to a room, and he say, go and break something. And when he went, he break it. And the police turned him and tell him that plenty police in the force cannot even break that. You understand? And the police, the police really offer him to wash down vehicles. And he say, he can't wash down the vehicle for the police because he live in Duncan Street. And if he go and wash down the police vehicle, they go target him. You understand? So he didn't take the job, but have job like people could work in the market and, you know, certain places, you know, where they could get a little end and thing. But through me, as a UNC diehard, going down with Auntie Camilla, I mean, really business. You understand? Auntie Camilla then put food on my table, Miss Jolene John, you know, and most of the ministers, you could talk to them kind words, turn away wrath. You understand? You can't go to none of them ministers in that government and talk to them because they don't want to hear. I shake one or two of them hand, and one or two of them hands softer than my hand. Real soft. I tell you, real soft. Yeah. So I don't know. I sad because I lost my son, and when I reached, I had to scrape up my son matter from his head into the drain. Into the drain. And it had PNM followers there. They even tell the piper, don't even lend me the broom. I had to take a cardboard and wash it down, and his girlfriend went for water wherever she gone with a car, a little water to wash it down. It was so sad. And still I'm frightened because I have 4 more sons. They live in Duncan Street here. You understand? And they ain't working, and it's real tough on we side. And I hope that Trinidad and Tobago hear my flight, and well, all they know what to do, all they don't take this, because at the end of the day, it's we getting the pressure, and it's we family and them. And they're frustrating people. They're frustrating people, right? Mova people, Laventille people, Sealot, all these people being dominated, and they're still going back and putting their finger red. And the scene what's going on, right? When we stand up to take a taxi, you don't see no Spanish. And Trinidad are real Spanish. They have their own chuttle, they have their own thing. You could go on the promenade, you could see them. Things what they're doing in this country, nobody to tell them nothing. Nobody to tell them nothing. They're doing crime and all. You're doing real crime. I was there in Sawa, where a guy came and he parked his car, and by the time he gone inside, the car gone. He just take off his shoes and the car gone. And it's only Spanish, because everybody in Sawa there at the point in time was there. So it's only the Spanish and them, and the government of this country know that. I know they say they tell me don't talk about them, because they don't talk about them. They say don't talk about them. Right? Then I can't even get a boyfriend again, because you know what's going on. I can't even habla. So I want to say thanks to Tanti Kamala to be coming, and you know, stand up with she, let me defend she, let me vote and show this government that we serious, and we have to get them out, right? Get them out, right? I don't care. I know they're watching, and they're watching me. Get them out, because I tell them under the PNM is real to, and I tell them that in Laventille. I say all you go can't sleep. When the PNM win, all you go can't sleep. All you go be hearing bullet, they're going to be celebrating. You understand? And it's that way they're doing now. They're celebrating, and they celebrate on my son. They want to say the police love my son. The police love my son. Yeah? The police love my son. My son was born curfew. One car police in the back, one in the front, I in the middle. And since the station in Sila there, he used to go there and he want sandwich. Since 3 years, he wanted to toot the police because he didn't get no sandwich. And he said, oh, they didn't give me no sandwich? You didn't give me no sandwich? All right, no sandwich with me. I go toot you, I go toot you, I go toot you. They say, boy, you're toot you and we feeding you and we minding you. They say, Joy, you see this boy? We moving, we gone off the gongda. We don't want no gun on the gongda when he come. And he was only 4. And
Okay, let's give it up for Joy.
So,
And we have our condolences. Thank you, Joy. I feel some of you never knew how Joy could talk. She could really talk good. Give her a round of applause again. Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much. Say joy to the world. Thank you, Joy. Anyone else, please? I think I see Senator Nackett here. Can we welcome him, please? And also with us is former Senator Dominic Smith in the front row. Give him a round of applause, please. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I want to say a pleasant good evening to my leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, who always stand at my side. Kareem Baird, thanks for bringing our leader to Morvant-Laventille, although she's not from, she came Belmont, you know, where we need her. Mr. Nackett, Ms. Jolene, everyone else, Kivad, my brother, Maria. All right, I just want to talk about my brother. My brother was murdered in the 28th of January at the Bricks Hotel, where a president houses, a police station for Belmont, and nothing was done up till now. My brother died and leave 4 children, which is a twin, a big girl who just do SCA. She didn't even do SCA because she broke down, because she in grief of her father. You know, every day I cry for my brother because we was close. The police from Belmont Station was involved in my brother's shooting. it had an officer used to come to me and ask for $40. Right? I wouldn't call his name, but he used to ask for $40. And when he came, he said they will call us back now for this vehicle, not knowing the senior officer in the station know about this murder about to take place. This is facts I'm talking here. This is not a make-up story. And as he reached with the vehicle, they call, where are you? Time he ran back to the station, the vehicles was moved. So the killers could do the shooting and drive through Belmont and escape. My brother was innocent. He never hold a gun. He never smoked weed, cigarette, drugs. All he do is party. They killed my brother because he's from an area. Gang warfare. Up to now, nothing has been done. And I'm not the only person hurt. You know, it have a lot of us here have lost ones. You understand? And I feel the pain as everybody else. That's all I want to say.
Anna, thank you very much for sharing your issues and your concerns tonight with us. And it's really heartbreaking, you know. It is very heartbreaking because every person who's come here has shared such pain. Such pain. And tomorrow we don't know. It might be one of us, one of you, one of ours, our children. So we have to band together, we have to unite together because this pain will continue. And you talk about the red. I was going to talk about vote and thing today, you know, when I hear you. What color is red? It's blood. Vote for the light, vote for yellow. We have to make a change. You all agree? We have to make a change. So I'll ask the next speaker, please, to come forward.
Pleasant good night to my mother, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, who've lost. All MPs, councillors, visitors, Morvant environs. I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to have you all here for such a heart-hurting topic to be spoken about. I come like Joy. If I go in town, she's a UNC. If I go south, she's a UNC. No matter where you go and you ask for something, you can't get it under this government. This government means dead, dead, dead. This government don't even know what the Constitution says about crime. Crime is an offense that is supposed to be dealt with by the state and those in authority. How you feel to know that you and your significant other gone in a fancy restaurant, somebody walk in and take up your pocketbook or your wallet, and you call for the next best person to assist you and hear what you will hear on the telephone. Right now, we short staff, you know. And it are no vehicle. By the way, what the person look like? Which part you is? I don't think we could come there right now, no? Anyhow, when it good enough, you could come to the station and make a report. That is nothing called public relation. Because when you answer me like that and I am traumatized, how you leaving me? And then the present government is calling that an alleged suspect. That alleged suspect going and do it again. This time he will kill to continue to do what he have to do. So he's now an alleged murderer. And he will sit there, and I who have to go from a little NIS just now can't get it because they eaten my taxpayers' money because he alleged. But I don't allege. I like cupboard. Because cupboard is where Auntie Kamala was putting my food. From a child going to school, from Separia Irie High School, to now, I have nothing else. If everybody else blood red, mine yellow. And it is totally unfair that we have a government, and with due permission, mother, a national security minister, and a prime minister that's saying who dead, dead. And you supposed to be the example of a community, of a country. When I cannot walk out my door, my daughter was robbed right in front of her door at gunpoint. And if she didn't scream, and the little UNC mommy didn't run outside to see that they're trying to go with the whole car, my child could have been dead. It's time we put our fingers in the yellow ink and stop put it in the red ink. It's time we stop playing politics in Morvant-Laventille, because we want what we want, and when it comes to us, we're not appreciating it. We're not working to keep it. I have been to many ministers. I have just finished my law degree. Thanks to Auntie Kamala, she sent me to school. So all you don't mark my NIS, right? Good. And I went to a few, what we will call them, I don't even know what to call them, no good people in Mova to assist the youths that we have sitting by the side of the road and getting killed because it's not your son bringing the gun, and it's not your son bringing the bag of weed, and it's not your son that bringing in all the counterfeit money. But when they finish, it's your son dying, and it's my daughter getting hold up. And it's time we put something in place for our youths so that they, even if it's just a stipend, they will know somebody care. And the only person I knew that care for the mother, the children, and the people of Trinidad and Tobago is Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC. And if we can't wake up and shake up and realize that it's time to get them out and let them do like Johnny and start walking, let me start wetting them. Because they is serving no purpose. My MP, Saddam, Ahmed, who hiding outside, they just beg me to hush. Because it's about time we stand together and stop divide from each other so that we could get the right thing done. And the right thing done could only happen under Kamala Prasad Bisesa. So let we stop talk politics and start playing country in the right protective way. Thank you.
Very much. Denise, congratulations on completing your law degree. When I started speaking earlier, I said, in these communities you have everybody. Well, look, you have a lawyer coming up too. And somebody shouted me back, yes, we have everybody in these communities. So we can make it better. How can we do it better? We have to stay united and strong. You agree? We are united and strong. That is how we will win and improve the quality of life. So God bless you. Let's get the next speaker, please.
Sure. Good night to each and everyone in the house. All protocol observed. My name is Elita Thompson McKay, and I want to thank God for our lady tonight. She left all the way in Siparia to come all the way in Morvant to hear what we have to say, what is our concern. Crime is the concern of all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But in spite of that, she made the time with our colleagues to come here and listen to us. I feel honored and privileged this evening. This is the first time, yes? So, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, thank you for caring about the people in the Laventille area. It means a lot. What we have to do, we have to learn to love ourselves. We're thinking about politics. Whether we bring her, we don't bring her, we still have to learn to love ourselves. I believe she loves us more than we love ourselves. She's willing to go the distance. And we just want to sit back. We have to get up. We have to make the difference because we want change. I am a proud mother of 11. Yes, 11 of them. 4 of them are in UE presently.
Alicia,
Yes, my dear lady.
like you never watch TV.
Not as much, not as much. They are in UE. We live in Laventille, you know, they're born and grow here. We are all from here. 4 in UE, the others are in secondary school. And they are making a difference. The first one who finished UE, he did chemical engineering. Why am I saying that? Because we can make a difference for ourselves. And we have the support of the Honorable Lady. So why not get up and make a difference? We will come, we will listen to seminars like this, and when the day comes, we still going back. Why? Because we're listening to what the others say. They always like to push the race card. But who are the ones that really love us? Who are the ones that is really here listening to us? These are things we have to ask ourselves. Now, I was not on the list to speak this evening. I came straight from work, and I asked Mr. Kanai, can I just go and say one word? Because I really want her to know that we really appreciate. And when the election comes, let us show how much we really appreciate her and thank her for helping us to bring change and development within ourselves. Yes? So thank you very much.
Very much. Talitha, again, thank you. And I'm so proud of your children and the work that they are doing. And that is what we need for all our children in this country. You remember when I took up the policy, not a child must be left behind. Not a single child must be left behind. And that is what is happening today. Many of our children are being left. All the children, you see. But really, it is something we have to work for again. Let us welcome Councillor Raquel Ghani, who is sitting here with us. And Miss Indra, who is Miss Beta, myself, thank you for joining us. And let's get the other persons, please, can come to mic.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to the Honorable Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, to all ministers that are here, Auntie Charlene, blessed good night to you. And to my brother, Mr. Kareem Beard, it's an honor, right? I would just like to start by saying I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I went up for local elections. I represented the area of East Dry River. And yes, and it was an experience. As a victim during the elections while I was campaigning, my home was broken in 2. My home was broken into 7 times. I am a single mother of 2 children, a 9-year-old girl and a 1-year-old baby. And politics has literally changed my mindset. Politics has changed everything in my life, right? And I am very happy that the leader took time from her busy schedule, because I have had a lot of people even now as coming up to me, Precious, you know, the leader not coming down, we want to see her, maybe she come down Oxford Street, or maybe she come down Laventille and she see how black people live in, you know, we go put we finger and vote for she, but the reality is, black people love sufferation. We love it bad, and that is the reality, right? So, I would usually turn and tell them, you know, you can't come to me because this is what you choose. We have no waters. who we going to? Precious, I can't help you, darling. I don't work with her. There are a lot of young, talented people in Laventille. There are. But because of the turf war, gang war, there are people that wanted to make it tonight, but they could not be here. Because you know why? Sometimes you're not even affiliated. You're not affiliated, but because your brother chose that life, or he had no choice but to be pushed into that life, you cannot go certain places. I can't pass certain places, and I'm a female. I'm a female, and that's the reality of it, right? But one question that I have for you, leader, is what is your crime plan for dealing with high-risk areas such as Morvant-Laventille, Beetham, Sealots? You know, these areas where the crime, even if they wanted to stop it, they can't stop it. They can't help themselves because they need food. You had to sell the drugs because they don't have another choice. They can't go out there and work because if it is police don't kill them, they're killing themselves. So what is your crime plan in dealing with high-risk areas such as this?
Precious, thank you. Precious, it will take me too long. When we were in office, and others before you spoke it, we tried to create as many jobs as we could have.
Yes.
I think the first and second speaker, all of you, you touch on the fact that there are no jobs. And that is that we created over 51,000 new jobs. We did that without raising one tax. These people created no jobs, and only tax in your waist. Tax, tire tax, airport, or tax, travel tax, online tax, you name it. Everything is tax. So one simple word is to create jobs. With Jill and John, and Dr. Munilal in the HEC and the Housing Ministry, we created an entire program, Color Me Orange, where anybody remembers that?
Yes.
We gave the young people jobs. So in addition to whatever crime plans, otherwise education is important, employment is important, and other things I've been speaking on the platform. I think jobs is a very, very important factor. Still. They're still on Color Me Orange. Some of them. Excellent. So,
thank you, everyone.
Precious, I hope that gives you an answer. And thank you for being brave enough to offer yourself as a candidate in East Rye River for us. Thank you very much, Precious.
Good afternoon to you, Ms. Bissessa. I just have, my name is Jedediah Allen. Jedediah Allen. I am born and grew in this particular area, right, Valley Road mover. I moved out a little bit and I've come back and I assist the PRO for the Village Council here, and I assist with the maths lessons for the past 4 years, free of charge for all the persons within the community, all right? So throughout those 4 years, I've observed a couple stuff, right? One of those being, information is not provided to some of the students or children within the community. What we take for granted, or what the general public may know, we don't have, or we never had access to. So for example, when I finished my degree, I only now knew about SATs. That's something we take for granted, right? You know, we could also couple education with sports. I think that's particularly important for this area here. So I did my A-levels at St. Augustine. A lot of at my year when I went, we won the Intercol at that time, and almost the entire football team went away to study, right? And to me, that it benefited them. I stayed, I went to school, I did my degree, I'm a civil engineer now, and I work at the Ministry of Works and Transport, Drainage Division, Planning Unit, all right? So, teaching most of my students, and some of them are here, all right?
When we asked to use the community center here for this meeting, I was told that, what was it, the electricity who had not been paid for, or what's it, the internet? So
Right.
we had to pay for the internet. How do you manage teaching students without the internet?
All right, so during the pandemic, a lot of the students was running up and down the road, right? I think, well, most of them had laptops, etc., but no internet, right? What we did, we called the service providers and we asked them for internet because I wanted to continue teaching the children because I didn't want that 2 years to go and nothing happened. So the challenge and the struggle we have, we actually had to, the camera on? We actually had to lie. So we have residential internet here in a commercial space. And that's basically what we're fighting with because that's all we can afford. Remember, only when events take place here could we then get money, right? We need sponsorship. We need more infrastructure. We have 8 laptops there that are not working. They are moving extremely slow. And for my SCA students, it's a constant struggle to actually have them do the Pennacool exercises in order for them to continue, right? Because we need access to past papers, etc., right? Can I have some water, please? Not every... Thank you. Thank you. Not everybody will have the passion I have. And a lot of times when I ask persons for assistance, obviously I'll have to pay them because they're traveling, etc., etc. Now, I am from the area. I don't mind continue teaching for free. That's not a problem. I could give of my time, right? But those are some of the challenges that we're currently having, right? And those are some of the hindrances that is, not having us be as effective as we would like to be, right? So, one of the things I would like to get your views on, or for something for us to even consider, right? This is one community center that service not only the Valley Road, Coconut Drive, persons in the near vicinity that could walk and go back. Every Tuesday evening, and even at this time, I think there are some students there that usually runs from Monday to Friday, which help and assist in the homework of most of the students. Because you remember in these areas, some of the parents are working 2 jobs, right? When the children come home, sometimes they don't even have internet, right? So I think one of the initiatives that we could put in place is merging and linking with all the community centers within the area to be a hub for community work, homework centers, provide internet, and not only provide internet, but provide the relevant tools that are needed to actually get the job done. So some of them may have assignments or stuff. We need printers, right? So I think that could be something that could be implemented that could really be beneficial in these particular areas. And this is just from my experience. And next thing I would like us to consider as well, information is important. So in July, August, I tend to have a career day to basically open up their mind to what the possibility lies. Now, not putting her down on anybody's profession, but at the beginning of every semester when I ask my students what they want to be, security guard, police officer, fire officer, etc. Nothing is wrong with these professions, but this is all they know. Because the evidence of success is a policeman driving Sanai's car, something else. The first time I told them I was a civil engineer, nobody knew what was that, right? So information to access information is important. I would like to see in most of these community centers within the area that we have career days, bring the relevant universities like UTT, right? UE, COSTAT, etc., right? And also the final thing, I would like to suggest that we have programs specifically tailored for these communities and these communities only. Whether it be trade, not only just trade, right? But you have to, it can't be a one-hit wonder. You can't just come and just leave, right? The students like to see a level of continuity and they will need mentorship, right? So you can't just teach them, give them what they want and give them a quick fix for now. They need some level of continuity, and there are some persons in these areas that are willing to do this. So I think one of the suggestions could be to have a tight-knit conversation with the presidents of all the necessary community centers and work with them. Right? I think that's one of the things that we can do, right? Just from my observation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arlene. And those are some really, really interesting suggestions. We may not be able to do it today or tomorrow, but I think we can benefit all the communities if we take some of those suggestions on board. I'm sorry? MP Saddam is saying, where's Ms. Arlene? MP Saddam, who is the MP for Barataria San Juan, is offering to help where people need printing and paper. His office can assist, please. So Jonathan is reminding me that we did have a mentorship program running in communities. Well, you know what you'll have to do to get it back, because it's not happening now. We had a mentorship program. You know that laptop initiative that we had, Ms. Allen? Remember when I said laptop for every child entering school? Then I said in the last campaign, we will give the SEA students, we'll give them the tablet. But people didn't want that. So we will have to make it happen in another incarnation. Again, we have to make that. Because during that COVID period, if they had kept up the laptop program, and if they had given the tablets to the younger ones, everybody was covered. We were doing digitization before the word was even there. Way back since 2010, it's only now they call it some Ministry of Digitalization, and they had about 2 people working in that ministry. So we were digitizing from way back 2010. Let's get back into the future. Let's go into the future. Let's do it together. I thank you, Ms. Alain, but I appreciate your comments. Saddam, MP Saddam will help us. You all know where that office is. If not, Kareem Alderman knows. Councillor Raquel in the back there knows. Where is it, please? El Socorro, MP for Barataria San Juan, is willing to assist. Okay? Is that okay, Ms. Alain? You think they'll be able to make use of that facility? Yeah, okay, thanks. All right, move it along, please.
A pleasant good night to everyone. Pleasant good night, Ms. Bisessa. My name is Shaquille Warren, and just to, emphasize on what Brother Allen was saying, he is a true gem. He is a true gem in this community. He is. Let me just say, because they say you have to give people their flowers. You understand? For being such a young man, he is an inspiration to so many youths. He has been doing this for 4+ years for free. He has been instrumental in changing many people's lives around him, including mine. You understand? So I just want to say that before I begin. What do we really need? As a people, we must ask this question. What do we really need? Let me offer a suggestion. The people are not asking for perfection, no. All we ask is that when you perform your task, you consider us with affection, empathy. Just feel the way we feel when our loved ones are shut down in the street, empathy. Just feel the way we feel when mothers can't provide something to eat, empathy. That one attribute, we just can't get enough of it. And please consider our families before you make the budget. All the people would love it, because it is a sure fact. This is an attribute the other side sure lacks. And if we want change, people, we must take a stance. If we want change, we must give Ms. Bisessa a chance. Give her a chance, dear friends. Give her a chance, dear friends, because the people in power are only taking care of their friends. So give her a chance tonight to hear your grievances. Tonight is about change, not about preconceived notions and allegiances. The season is blowing for change. And by the way, I want to hear something strange about how the care for this community was demonstrated. Well, let me tell you that under her tenure, this community center was created. Throughout the country, she had many projects with roads and infrastructure, and even assisted many local farmers with grants for agriculture. She provided constant employment for family stability and even raised the wages for people with disability. So what do we really need? We need more recreational activities for the residents' enjoyment. What do we really need? We need more opportunities for the people employment. But we're here today to say we're sick of the violence, sick of living in perpetual fear and silence, sick of feeling intimidated instead of empowered when we hear these sirens. Facts, facts, facts. And if you gang members so insist on being 6, 7, 8, or 9, go back to school and get your maths, or put your energy into getting a diploma. Move on. Move on. This gang thing have plenty family stress. Right now we're more pissed than a pregnancy test. What do we need? We need crime policies and opportunities for our children to learn. And we also need someone to relate to us like she is doing and show some concern. Have a good night, everyone.
Okay, Shaki, thank you so much. So we have civil engineers, we have everybody else, and we have a poet. Give him a round of applause. Thank you very much, Shaki. Okay, can we get the next person, please?
A pleasant good night to our dear political leader. First, I must thank you for coming to our community. All protocol observed, and a special good night to this crowd that we have here, this mixed crowd. It is really a privilege. I would like to start by saying I was living in Upper 7th Avenue, Malik, for some years well. My house got burned down, so I end up now down in Shogunas. I am the first female in Trinidad and Tobago who had took the course Mechanical Engineering Machine Shop Craft Practice. I passed year 1, but I didn't pass year 2 because of the heavy downpour of rain in 1978. Some of us may know of it. I would be 72 years young this year. I love to talk about my age, yes. Yes. And while living in 7th Avenue, Malik, I went up for 3 elections. 1 local election and 2 general election. The local was for NAR. The first general was for NAR in 1995. And in 2000, I went up for UNC. And I suppose was to be the candidate under our leader here, but because we joined up with MJAC, I had to give way for their candidate. Now, I'm saying all this to let the youths around know and see and understand good things can come from our community, right? I remember in Malik, every time I go in, wherever I go in and they give me a time, I always late. Because when I reach out by Johnny Basement, a set of youths sit down there linemen. And I'm talking about some of the youths with school uniform who go in at the Malik Comprehensive School. And I grew up with this old-time thing, it takes a village to grow children. So I will start, excuse me, good morning, what you doing here? Your mother sent you to school, what you doing here? Come on, we go in one time, come on, and I'll take them and go with them in the school, straight to the head, the principal. So some of them, you'll hear them say, I don't like she mouth. She always roughing us up like you think, but I learned very early, at an early time, different strokes for different folks. So according to the community that you are in, you have to use method to suit them. As I always say, I could be anything, anyone I want to be. I know to talk with the grassroots. I know to speak when I up at the higher level, right? But when I went up for election, they say, good woman, hard worker, wrong party. No, I have been doing community work for years. Through me, they formed the self-help, the National Self-Help Commission, which I was awarded under our political leader in 2012, right, at the Hyatt. Now, it have other people in the community that have been doing community work. While I doing community work and I get the tractor borrowed to cut road inside my community, there was one George Woodley, I see his madam is here. He was doing work on this side of the community. And we come and we join together and form a group. And we have been doing community work all over. You know, I want to take this opportunity to talk about the lost heroes. The forgotten heroes of our community. You see, it's the little things that count. We have so much people in the community who bond together and, you know, they will go and develop the community, right? We will hold meetings in different areas of the community. We will go and get the tractor, the backhoe, go and get the material and get the road done. And it starts spreading all about. But you don't hear about those heroes, right? You don't hear about them. Now we have crime. We're facing crime a long time, you know. I remember even by Johnny Basement, some of those fellas and them, those without school clothes, sit down with a little penknife and they all talking and they have a stick in their hand and they scratching it, scraping it. And I will come, good morning. Ooh, look what you just carved. Watch, look at eye here. Look the nose. And all of them, oh yes. I said, but you have talent. You could do carving. And I will take them to the community development and get them to fund them with equipment, tools, whatever. And some of them doing good in craft today. There are others, and because Malik have a bad name, you know. In Malik, there are some of the youths that was doing crime. I speak with them and I tell them about be a contractor. And I will help them fill out the forms and walk them through it. And some of them are contractors today, right? So I am not the only one. In all parts of our community, people have volunteered their time to help the youths. But look what is going on now. The youths and them, plenty of them who holding the guns, they're well educated, you know. They have papers, but where they going? When this prime minister could come out and say he extending the age from 60 to 65, the retirement age. Well, which part is young people going? The children who leaving sitting exam now, finishing school, come down me those who was there last year before, and go on and on. On the street, under our political leader, we had MyLab, MyPath, all kind of different things to send the children to learn something. So they didn't have time to be idle, right? As this government come, they cut off everything, right? You're seeing public servant, oh God, they're only praying for the time to come. Some of them bend, they're tired, they want to go home. You coming up at the age of 65, plenty people now are living to 65. This is why I glorify God. He spared my life up to now and he promised me 100 and by his grace, right? But what I'm saying is this. If we don't make room to take in these young people, what else they're going to do when it have some people who love, like they're born to do crime, and it's easy now for them to get them to come in because first thing they say, the government failed them, what they going to do? And they're getting an easy way to make money, and they're killing you for next to nothing, you know. They're taking a job to kill you for next to nothing, you know. Some of them taking a job just to hold a big gun in their hand, you know, and feel good, you know. Not even for money, you know, to hold a big gun, you know, right? The time has come when we have to change this system and attitude. And we could only make that change if each and every one of us go out there and start a campaign and let the people know, especially the Laventille, who say they're paying them until they're dead and they're dying out. Do you know is a whole generation gone missing of black people? I wonder if you only realize that. A whole generation. The youth just killing out one another. Just now we might have what? One man for how much? 20 women? Eh? But that's where we heading. That's where we heading. Because if they continue like that, killing out one another at this tender age, then what? Then what? So what I would like to say tonight to my dear political leader, there are so much things he had put in place before that benefit the people, especially in Laventille, the Laventille East, West, and beyond. We had appreciated, we have appreciated. Some didn't, because I remember in 2015 when we was campaigning and we bounced up with them. Auntie Camilla, thanks for all what you do for us, Auntie Camilla, but done with all you. We spare them until we did. I hope These people are listening. And with what is going on in the country now, where we have a government that cares about nobody but itself, a few of them, not even all of them that in the cabinet, because some of them just rubber stamp, especially African in the cabinet. They have no say. They can't even help their constituency, right? It's pressure like that. So I would like for people to stop with this thing. They pay them until they're dead. Most of the old people, may God bless their soul, they die out and gone. The young people now have sense, and I think they will think better, and they will come forward and vote back the UNC, because under the UNC, we the African people benefit. There's no doubt about that, right? I ain't talking race, but I'm talking facts. We benefit. I see my young brothers, black brothers, buy cars, 2-3 can't put it on the road. They get house, they get work, they get contract. I just hear them. Every day I leave my house, I politicking. Don't matter, I'm bus, car, whatever, I politicking. And when I hear them talking the negative, because you know, one thing we can't be the PNM with is the propaganda machine. And some of us so naive, quick to listen and run with it. All the facts coming out now with all the $1 billion what missing. You ain't hearing them talk about that. And if you raise it with them, they shushing, nah, they don't want to hear the truth. Anil, you're doing a good job, keep it up. And what I am saying, they must pay attention to the facts. It's facts, Anil and many others, they all in newspaper, is facts. Listen to the facts. Somebody will make a jail. I want to end by this. Thank you. Oh, one thing, Madam Political Leader, I would like when the campaign starts, you come and have a big meeting in the Laventille. We never really have a political meeting in the Laventille, right? It is very important. Let them see and feel us in the Laventille. We will make the change. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harry. Thank you very much.
Pleasant good night, Ms. Visasa. It's a pleasure to have you at the Misir Community Center. And pleasant good night as well, Kareem. I'm hoping to see you all back. I am going to be very, very, very short, intentionally. What is happening is that in our community, we have lost multiple persons in our community. My problem is the accessibility to ministers after election. Accessibility to ministers. And we had multiple deaths. I myself was a victim of a drive-by shooting, and our MP never come to our community to have any consultation with any of the members. We're talking about a family that died out. A family that died out in less than a year. So if I am to say within 2 years, our community have lost about 25 persons, this village, to murder. And we have not been graced by the MPs present. So can you please find some sort of consultation to the family who have had all those multiple losses? I have watched persons bleeding out. I have looked at my son searching himself to see if he was shot. But I was so angry, I didn't realize that. And I am also a victim of a son who lost his life in the hills of Laventille through mistaken identity. So I am very passionate about what is taking place in our country. And I know, and we all know that the PNM isn't doing anything. They aren't doing anything. So can you please make some arrangements to talk with the family who have lost multiple relatives in our community. And once again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to your presence again.
Thank you, and we'll take your number. Maria will take your number. Next, please.
All protocols observed. I'm a mover Indian, if there's a word. Right? So I born and grow mover. My name is David Samuel, right? Sorry. Right? Most of you guys know me, you know, working taxi, mover, activist, radio talk shows, everything. Right? Excuse my attire, but I want to be real now. I don't want to come here looking like no politician today. So I want to talk about solutions, because we can come and talk about all the problems. We know the problems in Mover. We know we don't get water. We know we have bad road. We know we have all the problems that we have ever since I was a little child, right? But the main problem I want to talk about is crime and how it affects us in Morvant-Laventille. Because it affects us different than it affects everywhere else in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago now start to feel it because it started to spread. But we have been dealing with it from before I born. Because when I born, I don't want to call the area where I born, but it's a bad area. And I born in it, right? Lord knows why my mother, a single mother, right? Work hard for me to get my education and get out of that. But I'm here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about solutions. What is the solution? And I have a solution for you guys. Kareem, soon to be Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago again. Right? I have a solution. We have young children, young boys, 9 years ago, right? If they were 10 years, then it's 19 years now. So at 10 years old, the PNM would have come in power. They would not know nothing about politics. And now they are 19 years. So 9 years have passed with these young people facing what they're facing now. Now, we all know the numbers game, right? Every year, since this government come in power, the numbers of murders have been rising. 400, 500. But for some reason, the gangs keep replenishing its numbers. The more that die, the more come in. And in your mind, you're thinking, well, these young fellas and them ain't seen the dying when they join a gang. Who in the right mind would think about joining a gang when they know the only cause of that is death or jail? And I asked start to talk to them. I talk to them, you know, why are you going down that road to talk about that way? Nobody don't care about we. We have no opportunity. Some of them have passes, some of them finish school, some of them just sit down there, have nothing to do. And the gangs taking them in, they're recruiting them. So I want to tell you guys about this solution. Catch them before they get them. Catch them before they get them. Take them at 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. As young as 6 years old, catch them. Catch them. You see this guy here who are in program? He's doing something very good. So we have to get something like that in the community. There's no role models no more. You understand? We all know there's government mash up the sports. So they mash up everything. There are young fellas could sing, could write, could play music, but they have no opportunities. They could play football, they could play basketball, they could run. We could have the next Usain Bolt right time over. And we don't even know because they're running from bullet instead of running for a medal. Let us cut off the recruiting of gangs and catch these youths.
Mic check.
Thank you, Kareem. Yes, get them in something. Catch them before the gangs catch them. Because we have a lot of young people. I see them in the road, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old in the street doing school hours. Why are you not in school? Mommy has no money to send me to school. If they go to school 2 days for the week, the mother had to choose. If it's 4 siblings, well, you go Monday, you go Tuesday, you go Wednesday. Because of unemployment, because of high cost of living, because of all kind of things we're going through, because all that we know, it is not as nice when them was there. It get harder now. We all know after COVID, somehow we don't even know how we live in still because the place get hard. You understand? I don't mean I can a little bit, I cannot loud. Right? So I don't mean to take too much time. But I think that we have to come up with some kind of program, right, to take these youths and them and cut off the recruitment of the gang because they're idolizing these gang leaders. They're idolizing them because they're all the seen, they all don't know, right? So let us think about that as a solution. Catch these young fellas before they join the gangs. And they will have nobody, when the soldiers die out, they will have nobody to recruit because they're already doing something. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
very much, David. Good idea. That is why we were catching them from 11 plus. You all remember? From Mr. Pandey's government, we built all those schools. They said we were building schools for Parrot and Dwen. But the only Dwen who was around was a fellow named Imbert. So we built all those schools to catch them at 11 plus. We will do it again. We will do it again. Education. And education brings you what Alan talked about. Mr. Allen talked about the jobs, you know, and all kinds of opportunities. So we hear you, and we ask the next person, who seems to be a youth man. Let's welcome him.
Good night, good night, good night. Now I came to talk about how murder could change a home and a community. At the age of 11 years old, I saw a murder take place right around this community center. Living around, I can't even walk down the road without being scared for my life. That's how it is, right? Many people in our communities, well, yeah, are jobless, right? Many people are talking about how they need a job and how to find money on a daily basis. For instance, my father is a hustler as well. Jedediah, as my mentor, and Mr. Khaled opened my eyes to not only the street, to not only business, education, but politics as well, right? And it shows how what a government does throughout its term. And for the past 9 years, murder has increased. Many people in our community became jobless. My father was one of them in the switching of the term from UNC to PNM, right? And throughout the 8 murders consecutively, no political representative for our area came and spoke to us, right? And me being scared, nobody came from the current government to give us reassurance that we'll be safe in the coming future. So, this is how it is. My name is Ezekiel Leslie, and I go to Southeast Port of Spain, right? So, and being around adults that is willing to help change me for the better, right? Jedediah, Mr. Khaled, and many adults give me inspiration in our community. But since the murders, the sport stopped, the less people around, no guidance. Everybody else is, if it's not for the gangs, it's for something else, which is unnecessary. Children, generations that were supposed to be born, has been cut short because of murder. And the development of our country, as she said, it would be 1 man to 80 women, which is very true, right? And my grandmother told me that back then, children used to cry at their grandparents' funeral. Now, children are crying at their, no, grandparents are crying at their children's funeral. Right? And I really thank you for being here tonight. You open my eyes to show that there's still good in our government, and I really appreciate that.
Well said, Ezekiel. You see, there is hope and inspiration in our youths, the future of our nation. Treat them well, and they will lead the way. Thank you, Ezekiel. Do we have any others? One more? Yes, please come.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. The Honorable Kamala Prasad-Bissessa, Senators, MPs. I'm going to make it short and sweet. So my name is Janelle Charles. I am a corporate communications officer. I am one of the persons that assists in teaching mathematics free of charge with Mr. Allen And Dr. Khalid has been asking me about doing English lessons, and I'm yet to, consider that. Let me just say that Ezekiel Leslie, he was one of the youths that was snatched. He was valedictorian last year when he graduated. He was the valedictorian under Jedediah Allen's tenure. So I just wanted to say that. One of the things I wanted to speak about now, I was born here, grew up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I lived in the Valley Road for quite some time, and now I live in El Dorado. Something that I've noticed is that, let's just say I'm going on the route of education, right? I'm a pioneer for education, and I have a passion for young people. What I've noticed is that a lot of times, persons in areas cannot afford books, right? Of course, if you can't afford books, what you're gonna do, you're gonna rob to get the money. And I remember I was telling Jedediah, I said, back home, we have something called the book loan scheme. You pay $50, you get all your books. And the only thing is you have to not vandalize the books or destroy them. Return them back, recycle, reuse. I will really appreciate if something like that could be implemented. For the youths to have an education, I don't know if it's available because I have never heard of it. And most times when I speak to persons, they don't know about it. So I'm just saying, if it is, I'm not sure if persons are, there's
2010, 2015, I introduced that. We had the books, you could take it home. When you finish, you bring it back. They stopped that too.
So that would be a very good thing to bring back.
We have to bring it back.
We need to bring that back. And I think it will really help persons. And let me just say, since I've started teaching here, we've had a lot of young men showing up to classes, and persons are more interested in doing so. So I just wanted to shout out to Dr. Khalid. He's doing a very excellent job, Mr. Allen, and all the other persons who are actually attached to here, myself included. And we're actually trying to push forward to do great things.
Well, all right. Well, everybody don't know what is going on in the country, right? Everybody know this government will be under here. Bring crime to everybody's doorstep. They bring crime to everybody's doorstep in this country. The leader done say it's a mafia. It's a mafia. His sidekick done say we raise gas 3 times and nobody in riot. So they want we to be a rioting people. They want we to be a vexed people. A people with no initiative to go forward to bring a better living condition in our communities. I am from Caledonia representing my community. I know everybody see the video what I was showing the other day to stigmatize us. But we want to say in our community, like every other community, have good people, have good youths who are willing to make a change in their life. But they has not been given that opportunity by this government, right? Because we have to watch at many different factors. We have to watch who is controlling the media. We have to watch what the youths and them taking in. We have to watch the influence and what kind of influence the youths and them getting today, right? So we have to stand up right now in this time, and because this is the only time, If we didn't stand up now for that change, yeah, I telling all you. Grandparents used to say, crap or go smoke with pipe, right? So we have to stand up for change. We must stand up for change. We must make that difference when that day comes for our present and future political leader. You know what I'm telling all you again? A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand. So, here what's going on. If I is a father and I'm a wife, and me and my wife fighting, we're going to the children and them. What the children and them go do? So let me lead by example. Let us lead by example, mothers and fathers. Because this government, we under bring down real pressure on we, They mash up homes. They break up homes that will cause the children to end up on the streets, end up to be criminals, gangsters, or in gangs, as they just say. But who caused that? Who is responsible for that? This present government. This present government, I tell you all you, they don't want nothing good for nobody in this country. They don't want nothing good for the children in this country. So we have to make a difference when the time comes. I hear from inception, since Pandey and Sadiq Bash, and way back when from, right? I might be an upfront man, but I need to push up, right? I'm pushing up my leader. I'm pushing up my leader at all costs. At all costs, I'm pushing up my leader. And you see my representative? My future bright. You know what I'm telling you? I will keep it short and sweet. So, the motto is all here. Together. So, it's the coat of the arms. It's the coat of the arms for this country. Let me stand up and fight against the mafia and them. Rowley, Imbut, all them fellas and them. Right? Hines, all of them. Who always promising and promising and promising and doing what? Backstabbing the people and them. But what mommy do? Or you remember what happened in Molonia a couple years ago? When a man put a child in a drum? What mother does do? She just cry for she children. Who was they? Mommy was they. Look at the more children dead. With the father. Where Rowley? If our mother was in position, she would be there. And she does be always there. So let me stand strong, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, and let me push up with leader. Let me push you up. Let me push you up. Right up to the top. Right? So thanks again, everyone. And it's a pleasure. I want to shake your hand. It's a pleasure to meet a strong and powerful mother as you represent the mother of the nation. So thanks again, Ms. Bissassa, for gracing our communities and our, what we should say, Morvant-Laventille with your presence. It's a pleasure. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ado. Ado, thank you very much. You say you're in the back, but you're talking real strong like you're in the front. And you have really done a lot for young Karim here. You said you came from way back days of Mr. Pandey and through those days down to now. So Ada has been a strong supporter here in your communities, and he has been mentoring our alderman, Mr. Karim here. So thank you very much again, sir. Thank you so much. So, you know, I've heard some of our political critics, they say things about, you know, why Kamala all over the country doing anti-crime talks? Why? But you just heard for yourselves, every time we have these sessions, we get new ideas. Agreed? We get new perspectives, we get new energies, and we get more people coming forward united to fight the crime. I told you when I started, my style has always been to listen, and to listen, and to listen. I've told you earlier, there's 2 ears, 1 mouth. So we must always listen more than we speak. And we spend some hours with you here listening. Sometimes people say I listen too much, but that's okay. I said it and I repeat. We must listen twice and speak once. We know the present government has no interest in listening or speaking to you. Imagine 11 people got shot recently in Powder Magazine. Yes? 4 of them died. Not one person in authority visited the families to listen. Not one of them said anything. And this is happening throughout the land. We know what they have given up on our citizens. Mass shootings are happening all over. Powder Magazine, Harp Place, Belmont, at a birthday party in Grandy. 11 shot, 5 shot, 8 shot, 4 dead, 3 dead, 5 dead. And they say nothing, and they do nothing. Say nothing. Not even to empathize with the families. Here in young Ezekiel there, you know. Not Baratare, but it's all over now. All over Maraval, somebody just shouted. Belmont, Yes, it's everywhere. And they have nothing to say. When you open the newspapers every day, what you're seeing? 4 dead, 5 dead, 6 shot, always several headlines of death and destruction in our country. And so they have given up. This government seems to have given up. Mothers have to go without a shoulder to cry on, without justice for their loved ones. I want to give you that assurance tonight. When you put the UNC back into government, we will do everything in our power to deal with violent crime. We have the policies, I said, and we've been sharing them. And we were there, we have a track record, man. We brought the crime to the lowest ever it was in decades. We have the political will. We certainly have been using some of your recommendations. Your contributions here tonight will help us further from the other consultations as well. Once again, we want to thank you for being with us here tonight. We look forward to being with you again soon, and I promise you, God willing, I shall return. I shall see you again soon. May God bless you. I thank you all very much. I thank you for all your contributions. And you were very strong. You were very, very strong. I want Kareem to close this meeting as we say thank you for tonight and good night for tonight only. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
Morvant-Laventille again, good night. Morvant-Laventille again, good night. Morvant-Laventille again, good night. Morvant-Laventille again, good night. So we want to thank again our beloved political leader and the leader of the opposition for coming and spending time with us here in Morvant-Laventille. The question is, and the question will always be, why do we settle for good when great is always available? I will say it again. Why do we as a people constantly settle for good when great is always available? So tonight I tell you to use the availability that our next Prime Minister, the only Prime Minister, the Prime Minister that ensured the youths have a future. And I will stand and I will say in Mova all the time, from 2020, from 2019, when I started this journey not knowing what to do, how to move, where to run. When you looked left, you looked right, you saw no one but you had a job to do. Not everyone liked you. Not everyone that said they will stand with you stood with you, but you had a job to do. And the mantra she was saying, and it resonates and remained with me, serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. And in 2020, I was afforded the most beautifulest opportunity that a young man as 31 with a life not knowing anything was afforded, was to run for the MP of Laventille East Mova. I took it because the leader said, serve the people. We are a party that meets and greets. We don't talk from the platform. Go out there, fight, run, walk, scratch, talk, greet, meet. So tonight, we and I want to thank my leader personally. After the death of my wife, and I would say it again. No, I heard it here again, and it hurt me. I sit in a council, and not a council member from the other side made it to the funeral, showed empathy, showed that they cared. All that was hearing was, that's my this, and that was my that, and they belong to that area, and not a word. But my leader did something for me that inspires me daily, that reunites and reunites the fight within me. She messaged after 3 in the morning. I'm not talking about a genetic message, and no. I felt the message in a painful crying state. Hang in there. Hold on. Trust God. I can't tell you how to feel, but I am there. And that is all we really need. Somebody to be there. And leader, tonight, on behalf of my family, my little boy, who wanted to stay, I thank you for being the leader that you are. And I hope that Morvant-Laventille understands. Great is made available. We say she don't come. They don't come. But she made it her duty to be here, to hear us, to understand us, to understand what we, the people, are feeling. So tonight, brothers and sisters, I ask you to stand. And not stand separated, but stand together. Stand together and let us give the only lady, the queen, the mother, the soul, the life, compassion. When you think about a leader, I want you to take a good look. That understands what we are, mothers crying, fathers bawling. I'm a single, and I had to hear Happy Father's Day. Because death and crime is very real. Let us understand it affects us all. So together, let us stand with her and give my leader, our leader, the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And the only way we can do this is come when the election is called, do what we need to do and make sure that we do the correct thing. Greatness is there. We are UNC and proud. And I thank you, opposition leader. We thank you. Let us make some noise for the leader of opposition of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. A pleasant good night. Reach home very safe. This is the first, and it will not be the last. We thank you. To senators, to the MPs that join us here, we want to thank you so much. To Ms. Jerlene John, oh my God, we thank you so much. To the hard-working team that we put together to make sure the venue was properly well, nice and neat for our leader. Again, we thank you. To the media team, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you.
We stand united in the belief that if you empower community, the community empowers the country.
We are the party that gave every child a secondary school education since 2001.
By building more schools in 11 years than others did in 40. We believe that no child,
rich or poor, should be left behind.
Which is why we give every Form 1 student a laptop to expand their minds and their dreams.
We are the party that put police cars back on the streets
and gave the police a $1,000 bonus because we believe that we should support the persons who are protecting you.
We are the party that reduced the murder rate to its lowest in 14 years. We expanded GATE, stopped the property tax, and increased maternity leave.
We are the party that invested in you and in your community by investing in schools, community centers, lighted parks, 24-hour health centers, and the most extensive road repair program in decades.
We believe that education is always a solution and that no one should have to pick between sending their child to school or buying food.
We are the party that works for you. We are the first responders in every situation, working to deliver a better standard of living for you and your family.
And most importantly, we have confidence in you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. This is not a campaign, it's a movement based on building communities and strengthening families.
Come out and join us, and together we will get the nation working and moving again. Our children will once again have access to GATE and technology.
We will improve healthcare
by cutting the time it takes to see a doctor in an emergency. We will establish a senior citizen unit in every major hospital and staff the hospital with the doctors and nurses you need to create a first-class healthcare system. We will focus on creating high-paying jobs, fixing our laws to remove red tape, and ensuring that you and your family are safer. We will reduce corporate taxes to jumpstart the economy, create a special investment zone along the East-West corridor, and work with entrepreneurs to build a digital economy. This is an investment in your community to move the nation forward and get TNT working again.
Whether you are from 4th Street in Barataria to Railway Road in Dow Village, from Green Street in Tunapuna to Clark Road in Debe, from La Hoqueta to Moruga, from Mayaro to Scarborough, we are one people with the same dreams of a better tomorrow. And when we stand together, we win together. We are UNC and proud.